This is Ready, Set, Reiki, a podcast about Reiki, the universal energy life force, from the curious beginner to the seasoned master teacher, welcoming all systems, all lineages, and all levels. Reiki is a journey and not a destination. And on this Ready, Set, Reiki journey, we refer to ourselves as guides rather than hosts, as we too are traveling, supporting each other, and learning on that Reiki journey as well. And with that said, I am your guide, Tracy Seawright. And today, what a wonderful opportunity I have to interview an amazing person who is out there elevating the 915 in El Paso, Texas, Tamara Liz. She is a Puerto Rican artist, a 7th level initiate, an ascension guide based in El Paso, Texas. Now, with over 2 decades of experience in the arts, a master's degree in art therapy, and having left the Samara cycle, she helps people discover their inner wisdom and foster spiritual and emotional growth. She offers transformative offerings packed with energy healing, provide tools to empower individuals on their journey, and unlock their creative and spiritual potential. Her paintings are a blend of spiritual exploration and artistic expression, and will be featured in her solo show, Spiritual Growth, in November 2024 at the Zemphyr Gallery in El Paso, Texas. Tamara, welcome to Ready, Set, Reiki.
Thank you for having me here. It's an honor. And thank you for the audience for also being here.
Now, I'm going to give you an opportunity because it was so beautiful before we talked, before we began here, our journey together. But say your beautiful name.
Oh, yes. Tamara Liz.
How beautiful is that? I could not do it justice. But let's begin our journey together here, and let's find out about you. So tell us a little bit about yourself.
Yes. Well, I am a little bit of everything, right? That's what we are, right? And I do have my master's in art therapy, but I've always been first and foremost artist. You know, it's who I am. I breathe it. That's how I live. It's needed for me, right? It's how I process life in a lot of ways. And I'm also a homeschool mom. So I'm in that community as well. And I have done many offerings since, let's see, I've arrived here maybe 2021. And I've been in the community. I had the studios in Socorro. Later on, I won a grant and I had another studio so that people could just go there and create. So I've been trying to, live life and make a little bit of a positive impact.
Wonderful, wonderful. When I first came to El Paso 2 years ago, I had never been here before, and my husband came out for a work opportunity, and he had been out here a little bit before I was able to come out. And there's something magical about Socorro. I really loved it. It was, I came out, I was here maybe about 2 weeks, and I had an opportunity to teach yoga out at the community center there. And so there's something about it. I don't know what it is. It's just, to me, it feels magical.
It is magical. I always had this idea that spirit bring us wherever we're meant to be, right? The divine is always working through us and for us. And I feel like there are a lot of artists in El Paso, and it's because there's something so ancestral. Like, we are so connected with powers beyond, right? And I feel this in El Paso. Special. It's very special. The people are very special. The community. I know that it isn't perfect. Nothing is as our perception of what perfect is. But I absolutely love the community.
Wonderful. So tell me about your energy work as a 7th level initiate. When did this come into your life?
Okay, so let me explain a little bit of what is being a 7th level initiate, right? There are several aspects to it. First is that at the 5th initiation, you end the samsara cycle, which means that you no longer reincarnate. You no longer have to come back for more lives, more lessons. You have paid all of your karmic whatever, so all of the karma is clean, which means that at the 5th initiation, all of your chakras are just pure light, right? And then as you move further along in the initiations, then your higher selves becomes a part of you. It's like you think ascend as going up, but it's actually higher self is coming down to live in your heart. And you become a portal for your higher self, and that's like a vibration, right? It's not something like, oh, I'm an ascended person, I'm just a normal person, right? It's just me, Tamara, da 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 da. But it's his energy is what lives within me, so I'm a portal for his energy. And it's just amazing. I just live life normally, but he's working in ways that I couldn't even comprehend. And that's basically being a seventh level initiate, just being this portal for your higher self. There are more initiations, and with it comes, I guess, more understanding of everything, and it is beautiful. It is meant for all of us. This is the journey, you know what I mean? It's not, we're all gonna be doing this. You know what I mean? It's not just me. I'm not a guru. It's the journey that we're all called for. Nobody wants to come back to the endless suffering, right? So it's something that I also do as a guide, help, because the journey in the beginning, it was lonely. I started in 2018, and I mean, started with the group that I've learned more about ascension, right? My spiritual journey when we are born, you know. But and many lifetimes before too, right? When does it begin, right? Just when we were created as a soul. But the journey where I begin to learn all about ascension and really come into the understandings, and really what I understood then is not what I understand now either. You keep changing your perspective. It's internal. It's not something that you can maybe manifest outside. It's something that is happening within, right? And it has changed a lot for me. Things do get better in life. There's more flow, and just the understanding and the growth that happens within you, because everything is happening for you. And when you stop living like, oh, why does this happen to me? Why me? It's like you shift, right? And that's all about the journey. Just little shift that help us manage our emotions better and help us master life in, well, spiritual and normal ways too.
Very good. Very good. So when did you know your purpose was an ascension guide?
Well, let's see. I think that forever I felt like, okay, I'm an artist. Like I resonate with being an artist. But and life has been good through that journey, right? Because it has helped me live and understand what's happening to me and everything. And then, therefore I went to art therapy because I knew how powerful art was for me. But then I understood that art is a spiritual tool as well. So there's so much more to that. And as I went through, I was like, okay, so in therapy, I cannot be fully me. Like I couldn't necessarily, like I did. Thankfully, I always had supervisors that were really cool. And I never had a problem if I took my tarot cards out and whatever. So whenever I did documentation, it just looked like alternative healing therapy. Like you just kind of don't say directly what it is because, insurance companies are whatever. But I was able to still do the work that was needed. And I realized that I wanted more expansion, and Ascension Guide covers more of what we're really here, even if we don't understand. That's what we're really here for. It does cover the whole as the life experience that we're having. So it's kind of how it went.
Very good. So what is a common misconception about energy work?
There's so much about
It is.
it's crazy because I always, I was like mind boggled by this because in psychology is the study of the soul. It's not even the study of the mind, it's the study of the soul. So it's always been there, but hidden. It's like everything about spirit is hidden in religions and everything. What really, it's like on like that side, even all of like say the Jewish religion, the Torah. Oh, well, the Kabbalah is hidden. You can only do this after 40 years. And then they try to like in Catholic, I was raised Catholic. They're like, oh, the saints, the this, and they don't explain to you, I mean, the whole totality of what it means. It is beautiful. All of these saints, yeah, it's real. They're here to help us. The angels, all of it. It's here to. They're all here to support our journey. But spirituality, it's always something that people wanna not be associated with because woo woo, just like the alien thing or stuff like that. They're like, it's gonna take away from my professionalism or something like that. Is they're gonna think less of me? Not at all. I mean, I haven't embraced this. There used to be a time where maybe I, even with my identity and everything, I was like on the down low, like I just didn't want to. But this is who we are. This is how we're meant to live. And spirituality should be our number one focus, not just something on the side. You know what I mean? Just like when I used to talk in the mental health realm, like self-care. Well, self-care should be the everything. Everything we do is self-care is not enough. We have to learn about our bodies, about our minds, about our emotions, and we have to take care of us and our responses to life. And and so when it comes to spirituality, there's people that will always feel like, are you crazy? Because they don't fully understand. They don't fully understand. Period. And that's something that they may not be ready for yet in this lifetime. And that's okay, you know? So without judgment for any of the parts is how we need to move forward.
Very good. So you have helped people discover their inner wisdom, foster spiritual and emotional growth, and help many as they are facing struggles on their healing journey. But what has been the biggest challenge or rather struggle you faced in your own healing journey?
Um, okay, so there's not like the one thing, right? There's so many events that we've gone through, but I feel these events, anything that we experience is part of a lesson or something karmic that we needed to learn, that we needed to do. And so I've signed up for a mental health breakdown. And it changed my life in so many different ways. I think while I was in it, it was been because I went in and outside of psychosis, like I was like gone. Like it wasn't just a little bit, it was like I wasn't there. And where I went, I went to so many different, it was like a journey. Like I don't know if it's like being on drugs or not, but I would say that it's very similar. But it wasn't during that period of my mental health breakdown. One could easily perceive that as a spiritual experience, but it was negative. That was not a spiritual experience, but it was an experience that I needed, and that it was important for me so that I would become who I am today. You know what I mean? Like everything is serving you. And I I use those experiences. That's actually through art how I heal, because I didn't have a mental health counselor that could help me. There were psychologists. They would see me and they would say like, but you look good. And I'm like, what? Like, even though I didn't have my master's in art therapy yet, I knew enough that you couldn't judge somebody's mental state out of how they look. You know what I mean? And I've come to so many different therapists that were judgmental, or it was not great. But again, all of these things to inspire me to look for the profession that I will eventually take, you know? So it sparks that beginning of not only a career in the arts, because I was stating right then and there, like I was telling them, well, I just want uh in my art world, I just want this recognition, or like being this in this art world. And I went ahead and just did it. I went and I was exhibiting and selling my art in Puerto Rico, and I was known in the sphere of art, and everything was, I mean, seemingly well in that aspect, but in everything else, I was just pouring all of the emotions, all of the unprocessed things, all of the chaos that was within me to the art, which made it fascinating for people, because they love to see like the stories of others. And so that's why maybe, I had some success in that realm, because they were like, oh, she's got this diagnosis, she's the bipolar, this, and she has psychosis, did you say? And so just maybe that kind of thing opened up so that they could see within, because when you do abstract art, when you do all these things, you are putting yourself out there. You are being vulnerable, really, because they can see, it can be seen, and at that point in time, I was just pouring all of it into it. Even when I didn't understand really energetically what was going on, later on, I understood, like, oh my God, like this was telling me all about this. Yes, that looked like a blocked chakra. Like, oh my God. And my security was lost, all of this. So everything that I was painting, had a message for me that at that point I wasn't aware of, and neither could I comprehend it. But the messages and the support were always there, you know? So,
Wonderful, wonderful. It's like you're putting all the different pieces together of your puzzle,
yes.
right? To be able to see the image. Wonderful.
Yeah.
So you are an artist, master's degree in art therapy, spiritual healer. What do you wish your younger self knew about your current profession, your current work?
It's interesting. When I was young, I always knew that I was going to be an artist. Like I said, I'm an artist. I was going to be an artist because that's what I did, right? Like it was very evident. But I would have never imagined the turns that it would take. Uh, and there's no way that I could really tell my younger self anything that would, because I needed everything. You know what I mean? There's even the wounding, all of the things, like not feeling good enough, not believing in myself or whatever. It is all part of the story that we're meant to heal, you know? And if I didn't have those traumatic events, then I couldn't find the light, you know?
Very good. So you are out there helping others. You provide offerings packed with energy healing. You give tools to empower individuals. But when it's time for you to get that energetic tune up, what are some qualities that you look for in an energy healer?
Well, as a seven initiate, they always told us like, oh, you are in this high level, you shouldn't get services from somebody that is not at your high level. However, I felt like really that not doesn't matter. Like I've ascended, but there are people that haven't ascended, but they still have gifts,
Mm-hmm.
and people that have gifts, or even if they're not like just gifts, like they just came with them, if they develop them and train for them, well, they might not be higher vibrational or be at my level, but they still provide a service that can be very, very beneficial. And as such, I've had people that I work with that I enjoy, people that know, that can see the energy and can guide it through. They're like, and they see how it's coming from the divine, and they're just like guiding it. And I absolutely love that, because they also see, my thought forms. And when I'm losing concentration, they would be like, hey, pay attention. And then I would go back to the divine, back to the third eye, back to the divine. And it helped me hone my skills, my own skills, right? So I need people that know, that have this kind of skills, and I would love to continue to learn more about those skills, because as of yet, I can feel energy. I intuitively know what's happening. It helps me read the environment. It helps me read situations, people, what's going on. Um, but it is all an intuitive process, right? I'm not necessarily, and yes, I can guide, like, channel this energy, and I ask for it, but it's all about asking, really. And the intuitive work, it's all about just asking. But I like when people have the that extra sense that they can see, so that I can actually get back into focus.
Very good. Very good. So, what advice would you give someone who's just entering the path of spiritual work?
uh well, I know that even in business and everything, they tell you to be authentic, but that truly is the path. Being authentic and just knowing yourself. You know what I mean? You have to see within. You have to see not only who you are, but how you respond to life, so that you can see yourself and how to navigate things better, where are your things that you need to improve, because it's all about that inner improvement, that inner journey and growth. And it's a step-by-step process. There's no way of jumping ahead. You have to go through the steps, and it is beautiful, but there it is, like you mentioned with the Reiki, it's a journey. It is a journey. It's not a destination. And you never can say, like, oh, I've arrived. I mean, it is, oh, there's always something that will come to you to see how you, and lessons will get repeated and repeated and repeated until you have mastered them, until they no longer trigger judgment, until they no longer trigger anything, except unconditional love, just pure love. You know what I mean? So that's why sometimes it can feel very exhausting for people in the spiritual path, because things will come again and again and again in layers, um, to peel different meanings. And I'm a person that I need understanding. It is important for me to ask the whys, the hows, the questions, because that brings new levels of understanding for me, right? And that's why I also help people do, you have to understand yourself. Why do you do this? Why do you? And sometimes, and that's one of the ways that you can use art. Um, so there are things that you might not even comprehend how they happen, how they work, but the hands don't lie. So you put that into artwork, and the symbols will show up, the colors, things that will guide and will help you not only interpret, but really understand more about yourself. And I feel that that is just beautiful, right? Because it's teaching you how to be with yourself and learning the tools that can help you in your growth.
Beautiful. And talking about helping you with your growth, what books do you recommend?
Well, I have way too many books.
That's okay. That's all right.
Yeah. And they have all, this is what I do. I don't do the front to back reading. I do bibliomancy. And it has helped me in so many different ways. When I need guidance, when I even doing research, you have to write papers, and it has to be based on what somebody else said. You cannot say it on your own. You have to have basis, like somebody else has said this too. It's not me. So you always have to find evidence, right? And sometimes when you're looking for this evidence, and you're like, well, I would be intuitively guided to find the books, and opening it at random, and I would find the information. I would always look not only on the page, but 3 page before and 3 page after. And I kid you not, the answer's always there. Like it is amazing how much support we really do have, if we really look for it and are mindful about it. We have to be present, and because the support is always there. It's always there. We're always being guided. It's just that we're too blinded. The veil is on, and we're just in the story. Like we want to do the things and we want to achieve the things, but it's just a story. It doesn't nothing really else matters, right? But I do recommend a book that I wrote a chapter in. It's called Divine Healing, and well, it's a longer title. It's let me see. Do I have the? No, I moved it. It's Divine Healing, and the author is Carol Ann. She compiled all of our stories, and it's Divine Healing stories of, I can recall. My memory seems to being wiped out. And she also has actually both books by Carol Ann I would recommend, because the first one she compiled is the stories of ascension of different initiates. And it's about 13 stories. It's called Modern Ascension. And I absolutely love it because, we always see in the Bible or these saints, like even like it's always like forever before somebody gets level saint, or you know what I mean? Like it's, or they always back in the past, these gods, these goddesses, there, everything is in the past. And there's nothing like, well, who's doing it now? We're here now. Like, what do we get? Where's the stuff? And there is stuff happening now. There's many people that are yes, guided. There's many people doing I bet different things, but the ones that I trust the most, and it's just because they have embodied their higher self, which is a master. It's a master. The people that we dream about, that we wish we could, meet, and they're a portal for these people. And don't get me wrong, we still have personality. We still have, whatever issues we came with, the trauma. We're all in the healing journey together. But the vibration of the master is there. So you're getting this healing that you may not even recognize right now. Healing, it's happening. But you might feel it, you might feel the thing, you might not, you might feel a little thing. You don't know how it's happening, you don't know where it's working. We are not always conscious of the things, how it's working. That's why I love people that have the sight, because they'll be like, oh yeah, it's healing this and right there. But otherwise, you just have to trust, okay, this healing is happening, right? So yeah, Carol Ann Halstead and her two books, I definitely recommend those.
Wonderful. So, what other services do you offer? Do you offer sessions, classes, events, trainings?
Yes. I usually do workshops and offer one-on-one sessions. And I have new services that I've been adding, because this is the journey. The more I embody my higher self, the more I'm being asked for new things to offer. And I am offering now a house clearing. And you can do yourself the Palo Santo, the things, you can do all the things, but there's new layers of healing and integration that can happen then. You're healing the land, healing the everything, finding where the vortexes are. Like there's so many different things that you can tap into and get in your home. And an additional thing is that the masters that I'm working with and my higher self are choosing art that they recommend. Like they'd be like, okay, these artworks, they can help increase the frequency, the vibration of your home. You know what I mean? Like it's beautiful. I'm surprised sometimes. I'm like, this painting, like I like this painting. I want it. It's mine. I'm like, yeah, sure. And I do have other services where I do create paintings for people. There are either higher self, or maybe they want, an aspect of divinity, like they really resonate with Archangel Michael and they want artwork to work with them, or, because the art it's a tool. They don't replace your connection with higher self. They don't replace your connection to your heart, but they are just a tool to help you be not only in protection, because it's a space, that they send protection, but it can also be a tool for you to meditate, go into, and be a safe space for your spiritual work. And on another layer of that, the artwork emits energy, just like everything has an energy signature, a frequency. Well, they emit uh vibrations that are healing you. That some people that have the gift, some gifts, or can sense energy, they can feel the energy coming through, their chakras. Other people might not necessarily feel, but they see the artwork that I created for them, and they're like, wow, like like this resonates with me, like this symbol means that for me, and I'm like, oh, I didn't know it happened, right? But it's there because it means something for them, so that they know that they're being supported through this service. And let's see, I have different services when it comes to the sessions. I have sessions. I used to have my studios, and I would host sessions, workshops, even for the children, summer camps and stuff like that. But I decided to close the studios and went into, so that I could create in my office. I homeschool my kids, so I cannot be like far away. So but I decided that we're doing like there's one of the services that it's called servicio, I mean, not servicios. It's called Retratos del Corazón. And so this means portraits of the heart. And this is a healing service where I actually go into the home of the person, and there's a questionnaire as a big session. It can take up to 2 hours, and it's just letting the person tell their life story. I receive and work with their energy. And once after that, after I have sensed everything and enjoyed their presence and their story, I go back and do not a portrait. It's not like, it may happen if a face comes up or something, but it's really an energetic portrait. So it's about their energy. So it's mostly abstract form, shapes, colors, and it's just a retell of their energy to kind of synthesize and heal all of those past wounds that are so hard to get past for many people. Well, it's a painting that heals all of their past and leaves like this legacy of their energy imprint for their families. You know what I mean? So it's a beautiful. I have a website for that. It's Retratos del Corazón as well. But I will also integrate it into my website, tamaraliz.com, so that people can just get it through there. Because it is a beautiful, I thought at the beginning that it would be just mostly for elderly people, that they want to heal, and it could be just like leaving this legacy for their families. But lately people were telling me, but I want that. I don't think that that's just for this demographic. Like, I want in, like, it could be younger than that. And so I've opened it up for whoever needs the session, whoever needs. And the artwork is pretty big. It's an oil painting, and it does take time. So minimum 3 to 6 months. But yeah, it is, I don't know. I find beauty in everything, but it truly is beautiful.
Very good. So where can we find you? Online or in person, if someone's interested in a session or service that you provide?
And doing the sessions online, you can find me on heal.me, Tamara Liz. You can find me at my website, tamaraliz.com. My Instagram, tamaraliz.art. I'm pretty much on all the platforms. Tamara Liz Art on Facebook, or just Tamara Liz. Actually, on that one, I have 2 profiles. One with the blue check on Facebook has 2 profiles. One with the blue check, which is my personal profile, and then another one that I also have shared throughout the years in there. it's also Tamara Liz. So Tamara Liz, and you Google that and you probably find it. I also have a group on Facebook. It's called Art That Transforms You. Art That Transform You. And in that group, what I'm trying to do is build like mini courses that people can use to learn their own healing, to do like a step-by-step guide, not only to learn different types of art that they could use, like I did a session on journaling and how it helps, is just so that they can get to their own knowledge within, because we can do it on our own. It's just really, really hard, because if there's support, doing it alone, it's not impossible. We can, but it's better when we have somebody, helping us. Well, although you might not be able to do one-on-ones with me, or maybe you cannot get the sessions, you cannot afford it right now. You'd be like, but you join the group, and in the group, I will have a guide that people can do on their own and step by step. So that's in the works. I have already one training there, so I will continue to add more trainings. So if you're live in there and you want to join the trainings, I will, tell people, oh, this is going to be this and then. But yeah, that is something that I started to work on, and people can join in and enjoy the process there too.
All right, wonderful. Well, this ends the first part of our journey, and I'm going to continue on with the journey with you with 3 social media questions. So listeners and energy healer students reach out and send in questions. So here we go. Number 1, can you tell me about the 7th level initiate?
Yes. As I have mentioned before, a 7th level initiate is somebody that has left the cycle of reincarnation, and they embody fully their higher self. When you're at the 7th level already, and the 6 is the higher self is downloading. The 7 means that 100% of your higher self is within your heart portal, right? Now, the energy system for a person that's on the 7th level, it's different. So our 7 chakras, they no longer work, right? They're just like floating in nothingness. Like they're still potentially there, but they're not really there. They're not there. So if people check them, they can, like, if I go and get an aura reading, because their software only reads that, it will show those chakras, but I don't have those chakras anymore. What I have are 3 different chakras. It's 8, 9, and 10. And it's a whole different energetic system. I don't fully understand it. That's the way we've been told this is what happens at this level. These chakras are different. And I have felt the difference when I receive like energy healing. If I'm doing a meditation, and I feel the energy just on those 3 centers. Like I no longer, and if they're sending healing energy to the throat, I no longer feel it in the throat. I still feel it in the new chakra, which is the heart center. It's interesting because I'm still getting used to the thing. I only been a 7th level initiate for a year, and there's still so much for me to know, to understand. On Earth so far, we know that people can get up to the 9th level of initiation, and how that looks like, I have no idea. Right? I'm not there just yet, and this is just clearing the karma. There are different people that believe in different things, like enlightenment, or this thing with the manifestation, or this thing with the other. This is just the clearing of karma and being one with your higher self. I'm sure that there are many other forms, many different initiations in different groups of study and whatnot, right? But this is just particularly from the ascension. It's the website that I've used to get my products and my things, and where I learn is called Alpha Imaging, and it's a New Zealand website, and that's how I learned the majority of the information that I've gathered. Because if out there there's a lot of information, a lot. I mean, we have gained access to pretty much everything, but sadly, with pretty much everything, there has been misinformation collated with it, right? So people being misguided, they change things to accommodate whatever their needs were or whatever they believe, right? So everywhere you look, every sacred book, every sacred anything, there has been changes, there have been manipulations. So, and that's just one level of the human manipulating the thing, but there's also the astral level. In the astral, people love to play in the astral, and it can be fun, but at the same time we have to be very careful, because in the astral, if we don't have the correct protections, if you don't ground, you don't do the protections, the thing, then you're exposing yourself, and it's very easy to get on with pretenders. And so people will channel pretenders, and then there's teachings that, while they might see, they have some truth in it, they have some truth, but not everything is accurate, right? So we have to really learn our inner system, our inner guidance, to be able to discern all of these things. But
and this is out of a curiosity for myself, is the levels that you get, is it something you're attuned, or does your higher self have you shift?
The levels are something that, depending on what level, right? The levels from 1 to 5, it's all about you clearing karma. So everybody can do this. It's about positive words, actions, and thoughts. Words, actions. I mean, thoughts, words, and actions, right? It's all about shifting that, because we oftentimes just can gain karma from berating ourselves. When you believe, I'm not good enough, I suck at this, it's terrible, you're like, karma. Because you need to be compassionate and love for yourself too. So a lot of the time, many healers even are not aware, and they gain karma by not treating themselves well. And you have to also pay past life karma. So what happens is that you have to clear all of the past lives, all of the things, and all of the lessons that come with it, right? But we used different products from the same source. Like we have the violet flame, right? Many people that are in, they understand what the flame, the violet flame is, right? Well, I have been able to use a whole new level of violet flame that is not only the level that I can reach through a meditation, but the highest level that is available on earth through products. I don't have my violet flame in the desk, but I do have the spray. So I use this spray, I use some oils, and they bring the energy of the violet flame in the purest form. And that transmutes the karma in the chakras and help you shed that light. So it's way easier than ever before, because before you only had you and your thoughts and your thing, and it's super hard. But now we really have the tools. Oh, actually, I have the violet flame over here to the little oil. And I love the violet flame. I even have the candle. So this candle transmutes the spaces and negativity everywhere. So it's very, very powerful. The violet flame is really amazing. So you do get that help, right? But it is a lot of the work that you have to do, because you have to change your thoughts pattern, how you talk, and you have to be very mindful of all of that, right? But then there are steps where this is still a combination of me and higher self, and we're working together, right? And that's 6, well, he's downloading, 7th, he's already in, but there's like, we go through like different things that we're processing. So there's like a whole bunch of that I will not even get into of things that are happening energetically for us to go through the lessons. And it's a combination of us and higher self. Eventually in the higher initiations, it's just for higher self. So it's just him, because he has his own things to go through. He has his own lessons and things that they have to learn. So after, I think I would believe is the 8 is higher self lessons, and you just go for the ride. So it is interesting because I still am early in the journey of the 7th, and I see when they're coming ways, like there's the lessons you have to go through all of the race and just kind of go through these lessons in each ray. Oh, and that's a whole nother thing that before, let me explain just a little thing about the rays. There are 8 rays of ascension. And each ray, there's masters that go with each ray, right? But the rays are really like expressions of God, right? Attributes. So they just, it's like a color, right? They're color, and that's how they know us and see us in the spirit world. We're just colorful blobs or something, I don't know. And so these rays are color, right? And they embody certain aspects of the divine, or the divine feminine, the divine masculine, or just the divine. And everybody has, before ascension, everybody has 5 rays within them, right? And 5 masters too, or unless you have like 2 rays repeating, then the same master would probably be with you, or something like that. I was on the, before I ascended, I'm a 5th ray now, and the 5th ray is the ray of knowledge, truth, and healing. And it is an honor to be in this ray for sure. But I ascended on the 4th ray. Now, the 4th ray is the ray of harmony through conflict. And it's not for the faint of heart. It is really, really, really hard, because you are meant to be a teacher for others, and you're meant to be the conflict that teaches. Like you either are in conflict, you create the conflict. It's just all about conflict, and you are in the middle of it. And usually people get to blame you, or because people sometimes have a trouble to recognize what is with them and whatnot, so they rather be like, no, it's you. And so it's a teaching ray, so it was lessons for other people through me, and I had to bring the harmony. So again, as a mediator through my therapy too, I learned even more skills to be able to manage the situations, right? And it just became part of me to see everybody's perspective, you know what I mean? Because that's the only way that to see the whole. And I'm able to tell, I can see how to solve the problem, you know what I mean? But you cannot tell people just how to solve the problem. That's not going to help. They have to see it, and it has to come from them. So you give them options and things, but it's up to each person to do the inner work, right? But yeah, it's the rays are very beautiful. It's like almost like getting a reading of who you are, just like numerology and all of these other access that we have, that personality based test or whatever. The rays tell you so much about who you are. It's like you're looking into a mirror. It's like, oh my God, yes, it's incredible. So the rays are just beautiful like that. And I definitely, anybody that's interested in this, I do recommend that you read some sort. There's a lot of information out there. I would only recommend the Alpha Imaging website in New Zealand, because again, it has to be from the purest source. And so far, that has been the place where I have found the most reliable and close to truth.
Very good. So what has an ascension guide taught you?
Oof. Well, as ascension guide, when I started, there were no people that were doing one-on-ones with you. There was no like, I a guide in the sense of let's, do this together, or I'll do this session with you. But I did have, I still consider them or my guides, Waireti and Berna. They're, the ladies that I've pretty much learned everything with. And I've learned so much with them, through them. And uh, even also, it's not in this journey, you also have to be like, okay, there were things that they had this knowledge base too, but that knowledge base was also sometimes outdated. So you know what I mean, you have to trust these things. And they later on, like, I see their content has updated too, right? You know what I mean? So we're all growing together. It's one of the things that, yeah, we're in this together. And while there are hierarchies, and there's definitely people that are in higher initiations than I am, but you see, everybody has personality, biases, all of the things that we all haven't worked through all of the things. And it's just about being really honest with who we are, but more importantly, to love ourselves as we are. And they always put the positive words, positive thoughts, and actions. And this is a concept that it's familiar for everybody. Like, it's even in in the religions. Like, I remember I've studied a lot of religions, and in when I studied Judaism, it was one of their core things too. You know what I mean? So I through the process and all of the people that I met, I guess in a way they were also guides. We just didn't recognize them as such. So it is something just to consider and honor everybody that is in your journey. So
Wonderful. So the third question, your paintings will be featured in your solo show, Spiritual Growth. Can you tell me a little bit about how you blend your spiritual exploration with your artistic expression?
Yes, that's one of my favorite things. I Like I explained before a little bit with my story, I have used art for healing difficult trauma and things. But through that process, I learned that you can get messages, right? And so that was a portion of my life. I would make art to receive messages and whatnot. But then as I grew in this spirituality and this path, I understood that not only can they send you message through the art, but they can send healing. And you can I don't like to use the word channel because sometimes it's, I don't know, I rather use other words. But in essence, that would be what it's done. You're kind of just tuning in to an energy and then expressing it on canvas, and then that energy is there, and then it shines through. And I've learned all of the process to do that. I learned how to use it as a self-expression tool, just to self-express whatever you're feeling inside, as a messaging tool, and then as a divine tool. And in spiritual growth, that's my solo show that is going to be at Sephir Art Gallery in downtown El Paso. I'm still on the preparation of it, and how I really wanted to look, because I wanted to be like a mini retrospective. So that's why it's spiritual growth. You got to see where I started, right? And see how it has changed, right? But at the same time, I will have changed the energy in all of the artworks, because some of the energy when I've made the art, we can channel whatever pain, whatever suffering, we can channel that. You can have the most beautiful painting in the world, and it may have negative vibrations, right? So you really have to see who's making your art, where are they in the state of mind. It may look beautiful, but that doesn't mean that it's vibrating in a good or positive things. And not to put down anybody or anything like that, it's not but I'm just saying, because I've done that myself. I've created art where it was just like just vomiting all of this pain and suffering and all of the things, right? So, but I don't know what paintings I will end up choosing, or I want to make sure that everything is guided in a way that you could see the whole process, even the pain and the suffering, because it is important and we have to honor that. However, we don't want that energy necessarily exploding everywhere, so it's not no longer there as such. And then the spiritual growth, where I tell all of the different experiences of not only how I'm receiving these messages that keep me spiritually connected, because I didn't have, I don't have that thing. And for a long time, I didn't know that being an empath, and I was feeling energy, but I didn't understand what it was, how it worked, or anything, right? And I didn't know that I was really working with these energies or whatever. So I was not conscious of all of those process. So I just had art to connect me to the highest point. I didn't have the tools back then. Now that I have the tools, I can connect and create with that energy, which is fantastic. I'm like doing portal art. Let's connect with this portal energy. And then that the day of the portal, I create the art, and that is in essence created with that portal energy. And it's just, I don't know, it's beautiful. And there words. How can you put into words when everything is vibration? You know what I mean? It's like, so, and through the journey, I've tried to understand it and be like, okay, well, let's use the dowsing rods and let's check the energy, or let's check the thing. Because I wanted also the evidence that I'm saying, oh, this is doing this. Well, I want the evidence to go with that. And I've tried and I've got the tools and I've done the thing, but at the end, I had to learn that I just need to trust that, whoever is coming to me for a service, whoever is coming to me for that, the divine is working, and I just have to step out of the way and let the divine do the work.
Very good. So that was our last question. And maybe as we were talking, is there something you might have forgotten about, something that you want to share with our listeners? You can take this time right now.
Okay. And there could be so many things, right? And then later on be like, oh, did I really express everything? I so many things that we could say. I just want to reiterate that there are many tools, and we need them all. In this journey, sometimes this tool won't work when we need it, like we need another tool. So maybe we won't feel like our feelings will block us, the emotions, right? I actually, when it comes to energy, I always do want to say this, and I always talk about that in my journey. So that's good that it came through like that. Emotions are energy in motion, right? We know this, but there's a difference of our emotions and what we attach to the emotion. So the feelings are, for me, the story. In Spanish, feelings is called sentimiento. And it's like a compound word that says feel and lie. And I'm just like, because honestly, feelings, you're lying to yourself because you don't know what you're feeling. And you get maybe stressed and anxious and you don't know what it is. And you attach meaning, environmental meaning, that, it may associations that may have nothing to do with what, you're expressing. So you have to trust the emotion yourself. And you have to be very careful, because sometimes we attach stories to the emotions, and we make things worse for ourselves that way, because that's why the inner critic comes in and it starts telling you the most terrible things. And that's not the truth. Feelings and what we live is a story. The emotions, they are energy, and they can affect all of our bodies, which is why it's so important for us to manage and understand our emotions so we can regulate ourselves. So I find that spiritual work goes hand in hand with, well, everything holistic, that you have to really have everything in balance to be able to fully thrive. So I think that can that can close it there. Just balance and love.
Very good. Very good. Well, thank you, Tamara, so much for taking time out of your very busy schedule to take this journey with me on Ready, Set, Reiki.
Pleasure. Thank you so much.
Wonderful. All right, my wonderful listeners, if you would like your question featured on the podcast, reach out at www.readysetreiki.com, also on social media as well, and perhaps your question can be featured on the show. Also, check out Feather's Sister Wellness that offers a variety of yoga trainings, Reiki, and Reiki trainings online and in the El Paso area. My name's Tracy Seawright, and this has been Ready, Set, Reiki.